Imagine if Bach, Beethoven or Mozart made their beats with an SP-404 MK2. What samples would they have used? They knew there's nothing worse than a great sound hiding a bad melody. Fat sounds that camouflage an arrangement that doesn't work. What is needed is an instrument that ruthlessly exposes all weaknesses and still covers the entire range. Coincidentally, a grand piano covers the range of an entire orchestra. Basses below 30 Hz that push every subwoofer to its limits, right up to trebles that makes glass shatter. After the song is written, you divide the different octaves across 4 different instruments and everyone is amazed at how well you can arrange. The SP-404 has more than enough space to hold an entire grand piano, while still leaving room for you to make your beats. Of course, there are a few limitations that a real pianist will notice. It won't reach the level of a high-quality VST piano, but the quality is more than sufficient for us. In general, before you build a multi-sample instrument, you should think about the requirements. A grand piano has a range of 7.5 octaves or 88 keys. The lowest tone is the subcontrabass A with a frequency of 27.5 Hz. The highest tone is C8. We don't normally need this range, especially in popular music styles. 16 samples fit in one bank. However, in this project only the first 12 tones are used to simplify mapping and later optimizations. If you optimize for the banks, you take a C-1 as the lowest note and end at B6. In contrast to other samplers, the length of the samples is more or less irrelevant for us. This means that the samples all fade out completely, which can take up to 2 minutes for the low tones depending on the piano. Old school, sampling directly into the SP-404. To do this, each sample is recorded directly on the pads and the starting point is then set precisely. In order to get a consistent result, it is important to deactivate the touch response on the keyboard. Most DAW support auto-sampling. I show this in Logic Pro. The entire instrument is sampled with the auto-sampler. You will then copy the created samples from the sampler folder and either import them manually via the SD card or use the SP-404 editor. In order to achieve a natural sound, the envelope of the samples must be adjusted. The default value of 0 would cut off the decay artificially, while a full decay would result in acoustic chaos. No problem with the piano, that's what you have pedals for. You can also connect pedals to the SP-404, but the expression parameter is not supported by Roland. Within a project, for example, we assigned the piano over 7 octaves to banks C to I. A bank represents an octave which can later be relatively easy transferred to another instrument. Pads 1 to 4 are not occupied. If you want to have the tones of the next octave here, it is advisable to form groups with the tones of the next bank or simply copy them. You probably only need individual banks because you don't use the entire range of the instrument. Then all you have to do is copy the corresponding banks from the piano project into the project with the song. If you can manage to live with 3 free banks, you can of course copy the entire piano. Of course, you can also control the sound in the classic way with the keyboard. For this, it is important that you create the appropriate zones on the keyboard. How this can be implemented in detail can be seen in the following video.